Hey guys, today I just want to talk about a mistake I see a lot of people making in lower levels, and honestly even in higher levels of CS people make this mistake, and it's just being too afraid to play off of information. If you want to play at a high level in CS, you have to play off the information around you. You can't just always default to the plan you had at the start of the round, which might just be sitting and holding passive towards halls, for example, because once you get information that halls is probably clear, instead of just sitting back and playing passive, you have to actually take that space. I remember one time a few years ago when I first qualified for FPLC, there was an example of me making this mistake and playing super passive. At the start of the round, I went towards halls and even cleared all of this by myself. I remember even jiggling all this out, clearing and seeing that no one was in halls, and then I just got here and started holding for lane. My team then ended up throwing some sort of brackets pressure. They smoked arch, mollied under porch, and then they peeked into brackets and saw a triple lane setup. So if the CTs were triple lane, what does that mean for me in halls? Well, what I did is my team saw triple lane and I sat here and was hoping that the CTs would just push me into boiler and give me a kill. But obviously this is a mistake. I was nervous and I sat here and was just hoping that they would peek me. And one of my teammates, I don't remember who it was, yelled at me, rightfully so, and told me to just run out halls. And this is the correct decision, because if the CTs are in a triple lane setup and I know I have all this space to run up over to here and take some fights, then I need to apply that pressure to them. Because now not only are they going to hear me and have to turn around and worry about me, I don't really have to worry about anyone's sight or moto, because I know that the odds of them being 4 people towards A and someone holding me from here with 3 people towards lane is very low. So I can get ready to take these fights out balk. And by me taking these fights out balk behind them, my team can now crunch them from lane at the same time. So instead of just sitting here and hoping that the CTs push into me because I'm nervous, I should have played off the information that my teammates got and not have been afraid to just run towards halls and take some fights with this new info. And I'm going to go into some other examples, but first I do have to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is an automated trading site that allows you to take some of your old skins and trade them in for some new ones. There are a ton of skins on the site, but if you're looking for something specific, you can use the filter to find the skin that you're looking for. And when you're making your first trade on the site, make sure to use my code GREAT for a bonus of up to $5 for free. If you see a skin on the site that you want and you don't have one of equal value, you can also deposit money with a 30% bonus plus an extra 5% if you use my code GREAT at checkout. And even if you don't have anything to trade, they do free giveaways every single day, so there's literally nothing to lose by joining SkinsMonkey. So just make sure to use the link in my description and have fun trading. This also applies in other parts of the round. So for example, let's say I'm just playing passive towards halls at the start of the round. I'm just sitting here spotting for a push, playing really passive. The only reason I really wouldn't want to walk into halls alone is if I think there's an op here, because if the op starts here, he's going to be able to kill me pretty easily. Or even if he starts back here like this, if I walk into him, the odds are he's just going to get the kill and fall back. But as soon as my team spots the op somewhere on the map, and this is of course assuming the CTs only have one op, they spot the op towards arch or towards B, you should not be afraid to just start taking some duels in halls. The odds of them being in a double rifle hall setup is not impossible, but you have a better chance if there's no op here. And even if you're able to just go 1 for 1, that's good for you and bad for them. But odds are if you see the op somewhere on the map, halls is just going to be pretty clear and you can take it for free. So you have to play off the information that you see and not be afraid to just take the space towards halls. This can also apply if your team towards banana calls that the CT started triple B. Sometimes the CTs will come here and throw flashes for their teammates to run down banana. And if your teammates that are the banana defaulters see 2 people run down with 1 person flashing, they can call that there were 3B at the start of the round. And now the T-side players towards A can try and take space mid or take space halls. Since we know there's a maximum of 2 here, we can do something like smoke off lane and try and target the people towards arch. Even if the 2 A defenders are here together, we can just take the chance of trading out, but there's a chance we have a pretty big gap and we can either flank B or just run into A. Alright, and real quick to Mirage for a CT side example. Let's say we're the CT side A anchor, and I'm playing towards under balk, and my con player decides to go for some sort of mid fight, peeks and dies and sees that there are 3 or 4 people towards mid. Instead of just sitting here under balk and waiting for them to run up and split me, or waiting for them to come to my site because I'm too afraid to push anything, use the information that the T's are heavy mid, and then take a risk and push out either ramp or palace, try and either find the space or find the A lurk, and then play from that position. So most of the time, teams will have either a ramp or a palace lurk. At worst, we're having to duel the lurk. So let's say we push towards ramp and we have the ramp player here. We're just going to have to take that fight. But if he's towards palace, then we have all this space. We're now in a super good position and we can get kills from behind when they're trying to take the site. Of course, this doesn't always have to be done alone. If your window player sees heavy mid at the start of the round, instead of just doing this alone, you can just call for your con player to come with you. Then you have an even higher chance of winning this fight if you run into the A lurk, because we're going to be 2 people here instead of 1. So that just makes it a little bit safer. But yeah, main point is don't just be stagnant and scared and wait for the T's to run into you. Play off of the information that you're given in the round. Now for a quick T-side example, let's say we have our A-lurk here walking up for some kills towards ramp, and the CTs flashed into ramp and pushed him and killed him with 2 players. If that happens, and then we get the information that they are 3 towards A, 2 people in ramp and 1 person flashing, if we're in deep spots in mid, use that information. For example, 3 people committed towards A site usually means that there's some sort of window gap. So if you have some sort of top con smoke up, you can just come here and try and jump window. Take some gaps based off of the information that was given, or if we're ready to, we can even just split up cat off of this info. Now that we know there's no one towards con that's really going to be sitting here and spamming us while we're running up cat, all we need is some sort of smoke to cover us, and we can heavy split on the maximum 2 people towards B. But if we're not in position to speed up somewhere or take space, like if we're still passive towards mid and our teammate dies ramp, we don't have to force it because the CTs are going to be able to get back to positions if we're not fast enough, but we can still use this information to our advantage. For example, instead of running it down, we can just regroup towards ramp. And if you're the CTs, what do you do after you push ramp as 2 and clear it out? You usually leave just 1 person here and rotate to stack the other site. So if we time it correctly, if we come back to re-clear this 1 person, and then if we clear him correctly with the flash, get this kill on him and speed up, there's a pretty good chance that we're actually going to go into a pretty light bomb site. The main thing I just want to point out in this video is you have to play off info. I just see too many players have a plan at the start of the round or a play they want to do, and then when something changes in the round, they're not ready to adapt. And it's fine to have plays and plans that you want to do, but if you get information that makes a different play better, you have to be able to audible into that and make that play, and you have to be doing this if you want to compete at a high level.